Welcome to episode 22 of the Mirandus Farmer's Almanac. I'm your host, Santa, and co-hosting with me is Woofy the Woofanite and Dylan Shub of Crown Capital. This episode, we discuss horses and stables. Though we know more now due to the recent AMA with the Mirandus team, it also leaves us with more questions to be answered. Breeding business models, renting, insane store prices, and more. We try to break down and digest all this new info and what is to come with these magnificent steeds, and even what more can come into the future. And let me apologize in advance for the low volume on my mic. I believe I have it fixed, and with that, let's listen in.
Around with a building in the back of it.
Yeah, so so Zan, it's totally worth it for a carryweight point of view.
Yeah.
If that was your.
Well, it was like when I first got, I was like, I was looking at this. I think I was looking at the mare, and I was like, I thought these things have carryweight. Somebody's like, only the stallions. I guess the mares only have stealth.
No, again, all the horses have, but they don't have these buffs, right? These are extra buffs, but there's still a base minimum that, and you'll be able to also put a satchel on it and probably get a 10% boost that way as well. Every horse can carry.
Yeah, every horse can carry, but you're looking for the carried weight, which is the 50% buff.
That's a buff, but you'll still be able to get, like, if you get
you'll still get carried weight for all horses, even the bred
Yes,
horses.
Of course. So you'll be able to. I mean, the uncommon is meant for people going on a quest, right? You'll be able to pack it with some extra food supply.
Yep. Even the bred ones, you'll still have the same carry weight.
Correct.
I would believe.
Correct. How many of the rares are left in the store? I'm curious now.
There's like 120, I think it said last time I looked. Just had it open.
I'm trying to see if the
149 of them.
Actually,
unless I haven't refreshed my screen though.
All my orders have got fulfilled. Okay, so the rares came through as well. Very nice. Let's have a look in the store.
All right. I'm sharing stream.
143. Okay, that's not bad. But no one has bought the legendary or the ancient. Good. Let them learn a lesson. Good.
Well.
All right. So
the stable owners.
So how do we do this?
We're doing it. All right. Let's start it.
So are you going to do a Zoom call or what?
No. This is the call. Watch the stream.
Oh, this is the call? All right.
This is it, boy.
And I shaved and everything.
So, and you shaved everything. So yeah, what we're looking at now is so it's already open to the stable owners, right? And it's already open to the Rider of the North. And so far,
correct.
No legendaries, no ancients have sold. I'm sure Benny will buy one, but Benny's probably being fair and just let these guys.
Who's Benny?
Benefactor.
Oh yes. Benefactor will buy. He will buy one ancient. Yes.
So I'm sure
he will get one ancient, not buy it.
Just give people time to buy.
Well, he will give himself a discount. Whatever you want to call it, but he will get an ancient.
Yeah. He's gonna grab it. We already know.
So, man, how about that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because I think the one thing I like about Benefactor is he's consistent. Him and the founder of Axie Infinity are consistent on their long-term belief that when games get mass adoption, there will be a small part of the population that will pay a lot of money for a flex.
Yep.
And he's not wrong. I used to see that in Second Life and other places. They're not wrong.
Yeah, you see that in traditional games, man. People just
correct. They're just thinking a few steps ahead. And the moment you have something where it's transferable, right, like with Magic the Gathering, then you see people start collecting very, very rare cards and stuff. So they are consistent, and I appreciate that about him. We just, we don't mind that part about him. We just don't like when he sniggers at poor people.
All right, so let's get this started. I don't know if you want an introduction, Dylan. I know with Crown Capital.
Sure, I can say a little bit. Yeah.
So why don't you explain what you're doing with Mirandus and in the space?
Sure. So Crown Capital was founded in August of 2021 with a focus on pooling assets from a number of different collectors and players to be like a kind of property management company, with a focus on games that allow us to have a service aspect, right? So AAA games with a service aspect, as opposed to many of the guilds kind of going the esports route. We wanted situations where we could, provide a service. And so Mirandus was our flagship. And since then, we've also been interested in Illuvium, Other Side, and potentially Metalcore and a few others.
Very cool. And you guys are a DAO, correct?
Correct. We are structured as a DAO.
With a token.
We have a coin. We have a whole kind of legal code of conduct and voting and proposals with a board of governors, and also a tradable coin on Bancor.
So if people wanted to get involved with that, how do they do that?
So we recently moved into the Fat Cats Discord, so they can come and join us over there. If they head over to our website, crowncapital.games, they can find out a lot more information. And our coin, which acts as a pro rata share and vote in the DAO, can be purchased on Bancor.
Very cool. And then I'll be sure to grab that information off you, and I'll just throw it in the description below just in case anyone's interested. And then, of course, we all know Woofy, right? Did you get your horse, Woofy?
I got a couple uncommons, luckily.
Dude,
it was a very big surprise, dude.
Listen, we're recording this. Like, man, that was a stressful time, right? Didn't know. I was just spamming the script. I was spamming the button the whole time, waiting for it to go live while the engineer was fixing whatever was going wrong. But they sold out.
I was doing
the
the
same. Around for a while. Yeah, just spamming it. Is that what you was doing?
Yeah. Well.
Which one? Are you just refreshing the whole time?
Yeah, just constantly refreshing. And
yeah, so are we on a call with like the rest of the mom people? And someone's like, oh, it's live. You can actually buy. So
nice. Yeah, it hung around for a while. It was there for, I don't know, I'd say 15 minutes or so before it sold out. So
yeah, better than normal. Yeah, that's like rare in this.
Still,
but I guess people had mixed feelings, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people walked away before it actually kicked in, figuring they just weren't going to be able to get in tonight.
Man, I don't know. I just, Observer said it right though. He was like, I'm experiencing this. Everybody take a leak before this starts.
Yep.
Yeah, I called that. That's funny. But all right. So let's talk about these horses, because there's a lot to digest, that just questions and mechanics and what to expect in the game, like the realistics, man. So 310 of these total. 810 of them are breedable, and then if you cut that in half, you need like one of each. It comes down to 405, right?
Yeah, it's about 400 breeding pairs, basically. Yeah.
Yep. So that's, that people freaked out on these prices at first, and then
we're still freaky.
Well, it made me wonder, like was it planned that way? Which was kind of.
I think it was.
I mean, it makes sense, but this is the new article they put out, and then they just cut all the prices by 50%. So
yeah, I think that was probably planned. I think that feels like a benefactor joke.
Yeah, I don't know, but it was insane. 250,000 and I don't know, 2.5 just for the rare. It was crazy.
It's taught in basic marketing, and it's price anchoring. So like they knew that you were going to come in if they put them prices at a high enough height that everybody would wig out. And then once we seen that they did 50%, more than half the people calmed down.
Yeah.
And that's what they were aiming for.
Because
if they would have put the prices at 125,000 to start, that we would have raged and did the same thing, and they would have had to bring their prices down to 75, and that's not okay in their book.
Yep. So,
even though it might change here shortly if they don't sell any.
So what do you think that? All right, so you're talking about 405 paired breeds, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's reasonable for these prices, even so.
I do think so, and we did check the fact that you can pair different levels of rarity together, so that's very important. That that is an important factor that makes this reasonable. We also know that, death is going to be a big deal. So a lot of those horses that go out are going to die. So yeah, I think it's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, especially with 410.
They changed the stats on the stables though, because in the Majestic was supposed to be the only one that could breed the Desteros, and now apparently you can breed in any of them.
Yeah, I think that makes. I mean, I think that some of those, that's Michael McCarthy thinking through over here. That look, if you make this game too complicated, it's just not going to be fun.
Yep.
But it was a selling point for people that bought the Majestic.
Yes, and I think we have to expect that there are going to be a number of those kinds of apologies.
So I think with these
I agree with that.
Majestics though, but you're just going to have that. So your stores get to be, for a Majestic, you get the bigger the tier, the bigger the store. So you're going to get a lot more stalls on top of like better chances of getting those. I think the bred horses, they carry over to the traits. Is that right? I don't know where I read that or heard that at. Is anybody else?
Yes. Yes, exactly. The horse, the traits, the traits do go over.
The two bred.
Two of the traits can be possibly passed to the fowl that's being bred or being produced. So
the higher the stable, the better chances of getting the rarer traits. So
that's correct.
No, they didn't. He didn't state that though. When I brought that up in chat with him, he was just said that it's pretty much an open willy-nilly. Like if you have a stable, you can breed, and the odds are just pretty much on the horses that you're playing with.
Was that Benny saying something like that then? Because I thought I heard that.
No, it was MM the other night.
Yeah, but I thought
2 nights ago in
Mirandus
Mirandus
was saying something like that in Gold the other night too. But
I think it's going to be a matter of storage and a matter of how fast they give birth. That's what I think will play out.
Speed of birth. Okay.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
Yeah, because we know that the higher tier buildings can produce. They seem to have said this before, but we know for sure that it can get higher quality, like better swords and things if it's a blacksmith, a forge, right? But also presumably also has more space. That's obvious, but also more likely happens faster.
Okay. That makes sense.
And you're also going to be in a location that has a lot more foot traffic, being a Majestic or a Grand.
Yeah,
because you're going to be standing in somebody's plot that's huge.
All right.
Yeah, and the look of the stores I think does matter, right? I do think people are going to care. If I can go by anything by some games and Second Life and stuff like that, I do think some people are going to care. Like it would be an honor for them to be able to buy it from the Majestic, or to buy their favorite horse in the Citadel or something, right? I do think there will be something to that.
Well, let's talk about the horse cap, because I assume the Citadels are going to hold the Majestics, right? And I don't know how many Majestic spots they get. That's one thing we don't know, and we don't even know that about all the deeds yet, or how many plots they took those. They took those floor plans of the plots off the website eons ago, and we're still using them to like calculate what our deeds are going to look like. But I don't know if those even still apply. But it's the best thing that we have to use. But we don't have one for the Citadel. So there's a ton of stables. What's the? Let me look it up. Like you can watch my stream if you need to. Oh man.
Yeah, Michael has already said there's not enough room for all of the buildings. He thought a lot of people are going to lose their accounts, or whatever.
Yeah, but even so, like stables, like what buildings are these people going to pick for the place in their towns? So 10 by 10s, there's about 400 stables, right? There's only 20. Once you get to the Grand, there's only 20 of them. And then I don't know if all 10 will go into a Citadel. I don't know how much room they get. And Large only has 30 of them.
My name's Elizabeth.
So, when you store your horses, you're only going to get so many stables to store them in. And then you're going to have the hitching posts as well.
Yeah.
So,
the stalls.
Yeah, all the stalls. Those are also stores too, right? That's where you buy your breedables out of. So
Yeah, you breed them and purchase them from them spaces.
although I assume they're the same space, I don't know if it's like breeding space and stall space and
No, my stalls are all the same for my horses. If I'm gonna breed, it'd be in the same stall that I house them in. I would just make sure the stallion wasn't in the same,
yeah, but there would
like,
be like
because
somebody's renting a stall, there's a selling stall, and a breeding stall. I don't know if those matter, if they're all different or what. So hitching post has just about 1,000 hitching posts, and I don't have no clue how much a hitching post can hold for horses. Whether it's one horse, two horse, four
Probably
horse.
one.
Is it one?
Probably one.
It's got to be at least two, one on each side.
I would figure it'd probably hold at least 10 or so, because you figure when somebody comes up, I don't know if like what the range is that you can keep them there, but real hitching post in front of any place, it's just a large stick across the thing in front of a trough, and you can probably put about 10 to 20 horses on it, depending on the size of
Yeah,
it.
I guess it's depending on the size, how big they want to make it. But I look at that as just like there's a cap on how many horses can be in, and then you gotta. Do you have when you're riding a horse? Do you have to have a travel plan? Because you just can't leave your horse unhitched or not in a stall. I don't know what happens.
Well, that's what he said. If you need to take your horse back at night.
So yeah, if you're going somewhere, if you're going to a mine, can you take the horse in the mine? What do you do with the horse while you're in there mining?
It's a pocket horse.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's not like you dismount and your horse disappears. It's just always going to be there. So there's a lot of questions I have a lot around that. I didn't know if you guys had thoughts on that at all.
Well, he did say that this is the benefit. This is why you would want the uncommon horse, right? Because if it dies, at least you can resurrect it, and you can probably it would probably lose energy. This is where food might have to be used for horses, right? That don't get to a stable, but yeah, you could probably sleep with it next to you or something.
He talked about like you don't have to feed your horse or give it energy or whatever.
Right. But I'm saying that if it's out in the wild, you might have to do something, or maybe that's why you would want a noble stallion. Maybe only a noble stallion can pull that off.
Yeah, if your horse takes damage, how do you heal it? Does it heal, or does it like slowly? I imagine the energy.
Bring it back to my stable, and I'll heal it for a fee.
Yeah, I mean, is that a thing? Do stables heal them then if they're not taking food or anything? Do you put them in a stable and that's healing?
Well, the tack's got to be something. Like, I would hope that tack has a usage in the game at some point besides just like horseshoes, because taking care of a horse requires a lot more than just feeding it in horseshoes.
Well, he talked about that in the AMA. It's like, how deep do you want to get into these systems for learning?
Yeah, you don't want.
I mean, it could be cool, but at what point do we get deep into the system and make these complicated, realistic?
I don't really think these things are all that complicated.
Yeah,
all the games I've played, these are just normal things within the games.
I know, but you have to put it into context that there's a ton of different things going on, right? Like, it's not just one.
Yeah, I don't know. I know.
Right, but I come from games like Ark and Life is Feudal, and like these games are based around pretty much what they're trying to build here, just with the real economics in it. The only thing I can see that slows it down is the blockchain part's probably going to be the hiccup on trying to get some of these things to work like it would in a Web 2 game.
Yeah, although I think they're going to do that a lot on centralized and settled, right? I think that like Gala will have its own kind of sharding. That's where the nodes might come into play.
Yeah, so when I look at that side, though, then it makes it seem like this stuff really isn't that hard for them to accomplish. A lot of these things that they say, it just sounds too complicated and like getting too rich into the deep details, because these details are normal in a lot of other games that run all these mechanics technically other than the blockchain.
True. And most people will probably be specialized, right? Like when you look at something like Eve as a game, right? Most people are fairly specialized. You're not trying to be an expert at everything.
Yeah, you can't be.
Yeah.
That's what would make the game good too. It's like
that's why I focused on horses.
Yeah. But any thoughts on the breeding, Woofy? Any good guesses?
I'm concerned with breeding with the fear of the price setting, because they put the uncommons at the $75. They just set the price tone pretty much of where horses are going to be played at. And a $75 horse that can die on the average player out there, They're not going to buy horses.
They're buying the horses for what the traits would be. Dude, that
Yeah, I
carry
think
weight's
people.
going to be expensive. Dude, I'll buy
but
a carry weight breed.
I get that, but you're a crypto person and I'm a crypto person at this point. But that we're not looking at crypto people carrying this game. We're looking at the masses that will come in that play the games on a regular basis that come from like Steam and PlayStation and stuff. Those people are used to paying $100, maybe up to $300 for the entire game. They get their magic steed or all their gear and stuff because they paid the super premium. But that stuff in their game, the way they see it, is theirs. And in this blockchain space, that everything that you buy is yours. Now I'm going to tell somebody that you come into my shop and my cheapest horse on average is $75-$100. I'm not making really any sales to the masses. I mean, they'll buy one of like eventually, but the moment they lose it within like a month or so, they're just going to turn their nose up to the horse space, in my opinion.
I don't know.
Well, that's why I think this is why I think it's the breeders who are laying out the capital as per always over here, and I think we're going to be breeding at a fast pace and probably selling. I mean, I think the rares will probably be selling their kids for $5-10.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what
I hope so. But that's only if the people that purchase these horses aren't people that are expecting a quick return. And the majority of the people that are purchasing stuff right now, they're all looking for quick returns. So even if they manage to hold out till the game starts, they're not going to just sell their breeding. Like when the horse shows up to my thing, I'm expecting, honestly, these rare horses to roll through my thing and people asking $15 to $25 per horse to breed it, plus the gas. And then you got to think, I'm not just factoring in that I paid this money to these people. Now I've also got to factor in the fact that I've got rent paying on this deed I've got, and I got to pay myself out in the value of my time playing this game. So, like, looking at the reality of it, even if each horse cost me $15 a piece to breed, and it cost me $30-something, I'm still looking at a $60, $55 horse.
Yeah, that's
minimal.
You make a lot of good
But
points.
again, this is the point. We are the player investors. We are the landlords and stuff. We don't expect players to. They won't. This is the exact thing. They won't buy these horses from us. They will either buy the second generation or they will rent the uncommons, and that's a good thing.
Well, we get into rent in a second, but the breeding fees. So Wolfie's talking about the breeding fees. What is that breeding fee? Because the owner of that horse charges the breeding fee. So is the
as the owner of the stable, I have no clue with it.
Like for even a rare, because a rare has really nothing to give other than glow, right? And the fact that it's breedable. So
No, but you won't. No, but you won't agree. What I'm saying is the free
Wolfie's
market will
pass that
decide. In other words,
with his
correct. I'm saying if we know that the bread that we can sell that horse for $10 or $5, then we know what we can pay the.
Right. You would have to set that
Right,
price.
but that's not I can't set the price. I can't ask for the price. What Mimim said is the person that owns the horse, when the horse shows up, I get a different view from the stable's view because I own the building. It'll show the horse in my thing, and then it'll show that the owner sets the price on the horse for me to breed it. So
you reject. You just reject it.
Yeah, you reject.
Right, but if continually rejecting prices because people have them in this head that it should be at this price because they paid $1,250, I'm still like floating this boat trying to keep it up steady while there's no money coming in.
Right, but I'm saying that the free market acts quite quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, and they will keep being rejected until someone accepts, and that will start to set the market.
Yep. You'll be looking for them to breed. They'll take anything eventually. If nobody's taking, there's only going to be so many stables in the game. We got to remember about the cap. What towns actually have the stables? I imagine they'll all start at the Majestics, right? And try to park their horses there, but those will fill up very quickly. And then as the Majestics are all filled with breedable horses, that's where the competition starts. So all these breedable horses are going to be adjusting their price for that stable to pick and say, I want this one because I think that's a good price.
Yep.
So that competition is going to happen for the Majestics downward. And you're right. The price correction should happen very soon. I could see like breeding fees. All right. If they're happening quickly, maybe $2-5 a horse, and then this breeder can take that and add his costs in, you might end up with 10-15. I don't know. we'll see how it rolls
I
out.
think a fair range of price in the common horse, or technically a rare horse, is what they be bred from. It should be around the $10 to $25 max. I don't think a horse that's not super special should be over $25 because it's going to die at some point.
Yeah, that's your
Correct.
rare. Once you get into them heavier traits, you can start asking for more, and then the same thing will happen with like prices there. Depends on what kind of horses we sell from this sale. But if not a lot of people buy ancients, man, or legendaries. Those traits are going to be more expensive.
And a lot of the stables, I would just reject people putting their breedables in our stable because we're a town that's self-sufficient. We don't, unless they give us a great deal, we'll just say no thank you.
Oh, how about this
Yeah,
one? So
free.
McCarthy said the breeding, like these breeding horses, go to the stalls for free. They get to stay in the stalls for free.
Yeah, so this is the part that
Yeah.
I really wish we could
Listen,
get some clarity on.
we
to be
need to
honest.
reject that because that's not right. I still feel
Yeah,
like they need to pay.
Especially if you can afford a noble horse, it's over a rare.
Yeah, you just don't get to park anywhere you want for free, dude. And stay as long as you want either, right?
Yeah, because you're taking up food and space that I could be feeding another horse and taking care of one that's actually paying
I
for
mean,
it.
I'm sure nobody's going to bitch about an ancient or legendary.
Oh, we just got an update. Benefactor bought a pair of ancients.
Oh, did he? Of course.
Yeah, we just got an update.
But I don't know. I didn't like
yeah.
the fees. I didn't like the fees.
So I'm going to give a benefit of the doubt here to MM and say that what I think he means by that is because you'll be paying them to let them be there for breeding, they de facto getting it for free. That's what I think it meant.
But how is that if I decline their services because I don't
that's
want?
Right. In other words, they never pay. That's the point. They either get in for free or they don't stay there, kind of thing, right? Like you can deny. You see the point. There's never going to be a place where they end up paying, right? You're either denying them or you're letting them come to breed, and you're paying them.
Is there even denying them? They just go there and they park.
Right, but you'll deny them. You'll deny them being able to. I mean, I see the point, but then what about the uncommons? They're not breeding, so what? How does that make any sense?
Well, it's only the breedables that would pay no fee.
No, it's all noble steeds. He didn't specify that.
Yeah, look.
Yeah,
Let's pull up the wording. It said.
Where's it at?
Okay,
Find the wording.
1 second. Let's pull up the noble. Okay, so it says what separates the noble steed from the common? Resurrect themselves after death, and he has said that they won't have to pay at the cemetery or something. They just resurrect. Resist aging and death of natural causes, which the common ones will do. Breed to create new fowls, but we know that doesn't apply to all. So maybe the next one, stable for free, doesn't apply to all either. And then inspire awe in the townsfolk, wherever they may be, because they will look slightly different. Okay, so I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt of here. I think the stable for free refers to the breedable ones.
Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot about the resist aging. So these breedable horses age; they die anyways. It's inevitable.
Yes. Yeah, but it's very slow apparently.
I wonder how slow that is. Is that like years? It's got to be.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'd want it to be years, or at least a year. Like, how long does that horse normally live, Wolfie?
I don't know. I think these were all going to the fact that remember, because the other argument is that we want them to be, again, we want a deflationary economy, right? I'd rather have selling more cheap horses to more people than more expensive horses, because again, back to our mass adoption point, we want food, basic swords and basic horses to be cheap for people because we want them to come and play.
That would affect the price a lot then. I mean,
of course it would affect the price.
I mean, I wouldn't want to pay that much if it's going to get old.
Fantastic, exactly my point.
Okay.
About 25, 30 years.
Yeah, that ain't happening in this game. All right, let's go to renting. You think that's a thing? I say no.
Absolutely.
I say
absolutely. I think all Mirandus items that are actual NFTs can be rented at some point. I think they'll start with exemplars as priority, and absolutely, I think it has to be, because that again goes back to our mass adoption.
I think exemplars work with the souls and items work with the vaults, but I don't know
I
how to do
think
the
the
horses.
horses that are on NFT will be rentable, but I really don't see how I would go about renting a horse that I bred that can die to
No, you can't.
somebody.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, because it would they couldn't afford to pay the death fee since like they pretty much bought the horse if it died on them.
Yeah, there's no death fees anyway. But I'm saying that you can't resurrect the bred horses anyway. Apparently.
No, that's what I'm saying. They would, if the horse died on them, then now they just bought the horse from me. So like if they most likely couldn't afford to buy a horse from me at that point if they're renting one.
Yeah.
What do you?
Yeah, no, I really don't think that that you won't be able to rent them. It just doesn't make sense eventually.
I mean, it
but
seems
but again, the
ideal.
noble
But
steeds.
how do they return them?
Well, all of the rentals going to work on a clock, right? It will return to the owners. Like they'll have to work out a starting point or something. But Michael McCarthy has made that quite clear that renting exemplars and stuff will be a deal.
Has anybody on the team mentioned that it might rent or?
Well, they've mentioned exemplars,
Yeah.
and what would be the point of renting like a Ride of the North without a bloody steed?
I don't know. I think I'd never buy a horse if I could rent them.
But that's okay. That's a good economy, right?
I guess.
Then don't buy, right? That's exactly what you want from esports players. Right? Esports players bring their skills and want to travel as light as possible. They don't want to buy towns and buildings and stuff.
Well, I don't understand how, like, all right, I rent a horse from you and I go across the world. Does the horse disappear once I get there or when I'm done with it? Or do I park in a stall? And I mean, do I got to charge that stall owner a fee or do I have to return
Does it
the
just
horse to the same
disappear and
stall?
return to my stall at the end of your
Yeah,
contract?
I don't know how.
Yeah, but forget rentals. How does that work when you just transfer to someone else's wallet? Same story.
But it's a horse. A horse doesn't go in the wallet; it goes in a stall.
No. But I'm saying a noble steed. No, a noble steed. Again, we're assuming you cannot rent the bred horses. Okay, only talking about the noble steeds. I'm saying, let's say you sell a noble steed.
I don't know how that'll work. That you have to pull it out.
I'm saying it's part of an accepted, unreality that we have to accept of the game.
Huh. Okay. What about a warranty model or insurance, Wolfie? Either you guys would use that?
I see too many holes in that floor.
Well, it'd be like, all right, you rent your horse, or not rent your horse, but I'll sell you this horse, and if you kill it within a week, I'll give you the next one half off.
Well, that's a private deal. That's a private deal.
Yeah, that's inside stuff that you're setting. That's
it just goes for everybody.
that's going to
hey,
be
you
for
buy a
everyone.
horse here, I'll give you 50% off the next
Sure.
one.
Yeah, make your deals, man. Make your deals.
Wow.
That's why it's cool to have like interconnecting, communities, right? Like you go to that guy and give them this code, and like again, we're all communicating on Discord. So if you've got like we know that Jake wants to do the drunken taverns, right? Or if anyone's doing the horse guilds, maybe you guys are doing. You can have a standard deal, right? That if someone buys from someone else who's part of the guild, they get 10% off on the next purchase. I don't know. Can be lots of deals like that.
Yeah.
Why not?
That matches some really cool models will come out of that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't know. Tell us about the horse guild, Wolfie. What do you guys want to do?
Well, we originally had planned to focus on breeding, and the whole guild was basically designed more as a Craigslist type scenario where we could all be in contact with each other in case there were different abilities like we see in the horses now. So if Dylan had the stealth and I had the fire or something, me and him could connect it through the guild and work together on that space.
Yeah.
And then it was slowly evolved into sales, hopefully, that we can help each other like move horses. And also now I'm hoping that in time that it'll become a riding group that kind of helps escort or whatever side missions.
Nice. What's the name?
Disteris of Mirandus.
All right. I'll try to
We are currently connected to Mom. Not currently, but we were connected to Mom.
the Dom of Mom.
The Dom of Mom.
I'm just seeing a note here that I wrote that like using Materium is the best chances to pass stats or the best stats.
Wonderful idea. She has
So,
now got something engaged.
I was thinking it was the stables themselves. I think it's the Materium.
Yep.
So the horse combat, which is, might as well just go. Let me see. Open seas gives good descriptions of them. Firebrand. So I know the ancient's the only one with the incendiary attack. I can't even say it. Firebrand.
Incinerary.
Incendiary. So
Now notice that the
that's a
mares
fire
and the steed.
attack. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was going to say. First notice that the mares and the stallions on the rarest have different
Yeah.
buffs.
Yep. I was just noticing that. I just noticed that today. Like the stallions, the only ones that got the carry weight. So it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at mares. So I was like, I thought.
Now let's also clarify for people that carry weight, of course,
It's
is
50%.
all. Yeah.
Yep.
Go for it.
They got extra armor, attack damage.
Yeah.
Minimum 2 traits passed. Okay. They got a strong glow, which the glows are light, right? We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
Fire damage, firestorm attack, incendiary strike. So, are you riding the horses when they're doing this stuff, or
Yes.
are you and the horse battling together side by side?
No, you're riding, but I think the horse will probably have a certain amount of AI.
Yeah. So you must just jump on the horse, and then all of a sudden you got a different attack bar going on there. Because McCarthy said you won't be able to use your sword because there's like difficulties in modeling all that or within the game and trying to get that to work. So yeah, I imagine you ride the stallion and you get all these attacks. I wonder if are they insanely more. I'm assuming they're insanely more powerful than something you would have as an exemplar alone, right?
Yeah, I mean, and we also know that there's like certain creatures have a natural aversion to them. So yeah, like
Yeah,
a
Goblin would spear them.
Scared, yeah.
Yeah, that uncommon only gets the minor glow. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll probably throw rocks at the uncommons because they're not really as scared of them.
Yeah, as soon as you hit the epics, man, going downwards, you lose that carry bonus. That thing's really important to me. That carry bonus is going to be huge. Everybody's going to want that.
I don't know so much. I don't think it's going to be such a big deal for some.
Maybe that's me then.
I think it's going to be a big deal for like the merchants and stuff who want to take like really big things. But I think for the average traveler who just wants to get across with some food and maybe a sword or something, because remember your own avatar can carry most things that people will probably want.
Yeah, and also don't forget that there's most likely going to be carts and wagons in the game as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Wonder if we have these horses pull these or.
Yeah, I genuinely think that the ancients and stuff are going to be far more reflex than anything else. Like people, like I mean, they'll be really cool, but I think like look at how the elves have held a certain price, right?
Yep.
It's partly because there's only 1,000 of them, right? And each different tribe only has 200. That is going to be that's a very small number for a game. Axie Infinity got to 2.5 million active players at its height.
Yeah, these dude, these horse numbers are small. You're talking about like once you get to legendary, there's only 50 of them. Epic's only 250. I mean, that's a price uncommon. There's only 500 uncommon.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. So these are this is why we wanted. I mean, here we are saying all this stuff again, but this is why I wanted. This is why we got 8 uncommons for our server for our DAO. Yeah.
I didn't check my node. Did we get node drops yet?
I think so. Yeah, there were some node drops.
Yeah.
Go and have a look if you got any.
I didn't get them then. All right, so we called this, Woofy. They put them in the stores, right? We knew this was happening.
Yeah, you nailed this about 1.5 years ago that you put that prediction out.
So what about the rest of the animal families for our farms?
Oh, they're going to do it.
Well, they did say so. They said that each island is going to act like some kind of biome, right? we can expect that. So, yeah.
That's for biome, as in like growing different things or seasons.
Yeah, but also, but there's going to be a series of different islands, and there will be native creatures to those different islands. Is the point?
Gotcha.
And so there will be, there will be some. Yeah, there might be some unicorns and dragons and some interesting things over there. It's quite possible.
I seen somebody was hounding McCarthy the other night when he was in Mirandus discussion, talking about
Mhm.
you gonna make more horses? Are there gonna be more horses? Is this the first round? And he said this is it. This is all there is for horses. Now he did say like
No,
2 years
Yeah, he
down.
did say there could be.
Yeah.
It could be a
it's
red.
changed that now.
2 years down
Yeah.
the road, when we have the Isles of Ice, maybe we'll have a sale for these ice.
Yeah, that's
horses
what he
or
said.
something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, he said it's not a maybe. They're for sure going to bring out more horses
Dude,
because
you
he
know,
said
yeah.
that nobody.
Dude, you
They're
know
going to
it.
get bored of these fire steeds. No,
But-
he already said we're going to get bored of them, so they already planned to do this.
Yeah.
It's in the work. They probably already have the horses honestly made.
But
so
it won't be the
it's-
fire seeds. It'll be a different kind of horse, and it will probably also be a very small amount. And
Yep.
I'm okay with that. I mean,
Well, they'll
the-
have different
the-
traits. I guarantee they'll have different traits. You won't see
Yeah.
those traits again.
Yeah,
Yeah, and them look, the problem of them needing more buildings or more deeds at one point, because we've got, is a good problem to have if the game has got so big, right? They just have to handle it in a way that doesn't hurt the current economy, right? When I talk to the Guild of Guardians team, or when I've talked to the Metalcore team, like there are ideas of either giving a big discount to the current holders, right? Because you're diluting their supply. So you're basically doing a stock split, give them a very big discount to buy it, or drop a good percentage of them to those current holders, right? So that it then acts like a stock split,
Well,
right?
I was hoping they
So
would
they're
have.
all,
I was
yeah,
hoping they
I
would have
would-
done these with the horses, because I don't own any stables, but I would think that the higher tier stable you have, the higher discount you have for these horses, because you bought these stables specifically because the breed horses. That was a
I
thing.
hear you. Yeah.
So just to come out, and I understand that like these prices, this is how this team's able to get the money to develop, is through these prices, guys. It's like all this stuff it sells for this is funding the development for this project, and they're essentially keeping it rare. We're the guys that are funding the rest of the game. You guys here on out are creating the horses, right? So maybe they deserve these prices. I don't know, but I was just hoping that it seems fair. Like Wolfie was like he wants to do this forever, and just to find out these horses are just way out of range for him, and that kind of sucks. And he bought all of them. You have all of them except the Majestic, but he has full control of it. So
Yeah, but I would say, Wolfie, in your case, it only encourages you more to work together, right?
Yep.
There are going to be a lot of whales who have no time to run these businesses, right? All the more.
well, yeah,
so-
that's how I ended up with getting the Majestic in my possession at this point. Pretty much is that somebody
Correct.
bought one that they don't want to use it, but they bought it for the guild.
Correct.
yeah. Well,
So
I, hope
I
helps you,
think,
man.
yeah. So I think
Yeah,
that
no,
that is-
I'm more than thankful to that person.
exactly. I think that is a way to look at these things because, there are a lot of whales who are DeFi whales who made a good money. They want a piece of this pie. They know that kind of they can't buy straight into Gala Games. So if they can, have a ROI or something and share it with you, fantastic. So yeah.
And I don't want to jump off too far a subject with this, but guys, save your money for the things that you want to do. Like these farms, man. I'm worried that they're going to sell these animals, right? And you're going to have to stock your own farms.
You got to get that legendary chicken and cow, my man.
Well, I hope they
You
don't.
really
Like,
think so?
I
hope
that's that's too much.
Yeah,
Hey.
I really don't. I don't know. I really don't think. I really do not think that they're giving. I think the horses were. I think the horses were a unique problem.
Yeah.
Because as I say, all the way back when Jake raised it, Michael McCarthy at the time, right, was like, look, if the horses are NFTs, then they shouldn't be destroyed, right? Because they're NFTs. We don't want that. And then this is how they worked out a compromise. But it would be absurd that if every chicken is an NFT and stuff. It really doesn't help anyone. So I don't know. I'd be very surprised.
Well, the idea is like, so I don't. maybe they're like tank parts. You keep buying them out of the store or something like that. Because in the
Mhm.
very beginning, your town gets attacked. Well, what kind of damage does your town take? Well, they start killing your cows and your chickens and your farm and smashing your crops and destroying your walls. I don't know. Maybe that's
Yeah,
what it is, and you got to buy more chickens because you didn't keep defense up on your town. So some ogre came by and ate all your fucking chickens.
you think the monsters can breach towns and cities?
I
I've
don't
always
Yeah,
wondered.
I don't know if it
they
actually they
they
breach and they start eating it, but there might be damage done in this. I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe who
McCarthy
knows?
talked a lot about in the beginning that the walls would take damage and that we would be being attacked by them randomly. But I would assume if they're going to break walls, that they're doing more damage than just breaking walls to your town, because that really isn't doing much to your town at that point, other than you're making a fence repair.
Yeah, dude, they're there to eat your chickens.
But I don't know. You don't think that these monsters and stuff will be on like an AI trajectory and it tells them to avoid?
Well, I
Don't
don't
think
know
so.
if they would smaller ones, like you got the ranching hamlets or the outposts. They jump the fence, like wolves jump the fence, and they stole
True.
stole a couple chickens, right? And you need to be preventing that, and maybe you got to buy more chickens out of the store, like their tank parts or something, to
True.
keep up with
Actually,
the
now that I'm thinking about it, they might sell some starter packs. You're right. They might sell some
That's
starter
common.
packs.
That's
Yeah,
common.
you know you're going to want them legendary seeds, my
No,
man.
no, no. I
Start
really no,
attacking
no, no.
them.
I really hope. I mean, it's true. Yeah, I really hope they're not that stupid, though. I mean, although Benefactor might push something like that, but I really hope that when they do starter packs, it's just so that there's a core NFT so that it can keep breeding exactly for these points that you're saying,
Maybe
but
that's
not
the
like.
goal of the barn. Maybe that's the goal of the barn. Keep your stuff safe. When you're done with it, you put it in the barn.
Yeah, yeah. Of course it is. Of course it is. But the question is, where does the original chicken and stuff come from? And
Comes from your
now that if
stores.
we're going this route, with the horses, it is possible that we do a starter pack for other things.
Right on. Let me go on that now. 46. I don't know. What do you got? You guys got anything else on horses? Some concerns? Some thoughts?
Yeah, my biggest thing is that the free whatever the hell that free thing is, the free stabling. That's the part. Like I really would like to give them the benefit of that, but I don't know. Yeah.
Hmm. Man, oh man.
Look, there's already an offer for $160. Look at
Well,
that.
let me throw this up from McCarthy. One of his quotes here. We have a lot of people who are dedicated to making Mirandus the greatest game of all times. Personally, I don't mind saying it is my life dream, a Sistine Chapel, if you will. There's a lot of people on our team that don't sleep. We wake up in the middle of the night thinking about how to make this game great. So
And you know what? I genuinely believe him on that.
I do too. I believe this is his legacy game, right? Might be all their
Yeah,
legacy games, right? Let's make the best game that's ever been made.
yeah.
So it could be cool.
And as one influencer has said before, utility starts with you. What is uniquely unusual about this game is we have a major part to play in either taking it to the next level or screwing it up, right? Because if you start to get, you know, this is why we need guilds like Mom and all these other guilds, because if we don't all agree on basic food prices and stuff like that, and you get kind of fake scarcity things going on,
Yeah.
we could ruin it for newbies coming in.
Do need a site or some sort of APIs or some way to just see it all. I don't know. We'll do it as we go.
Yeah,
We'll build it as we go.
exactly.
All right. Well, we'll call that an episode. And I want to appreciate Dylan, Wolfie. Thanks for hanging out. And
Always, brother.
yeah, man. Peace out, everyone.